The Slack bot we offboarded last quarter pinged me, deployment S1429 will roll back in 17 minutes. I was alone in the office kitchen, Windows laptop open, blue glare bleeding into the dark. My phone buzzed with the DM before I even finished the sentence in my head where I told myself not to check it. The message format was our old bot-style grey code blocks, clip phrasing. It included a GitHub Actions run ID and a short SHA I recognized as my branch, except I hadn't pushed yet. I thought it was some scheduled test message, a ghost of automation we'd forgotten to delete. The bot profile said a deactivated, little red badge, no status, no ability to mention. I screenshotted the DM. Then I opened the repo in VS Code and stated the file name in the bot's text, src/billing/discount, tsct8. There was a brittle null check around plan ID. It wouldn't throw a stack trace, but if the request body came through from the third-party web missing that field, it'd read undefined in Cascade. It was the kind of small, midnight mistake that ruins a night for someone in a different time zone. I added a safer guard. Muscle memory typed it before I told myself I was entertaining a prank. In the Slack channel where GitHub Actions posts, an orange bar appeared. Build hash 1429 queued by me. It matched the run ID from the DM. I watched the spinner crawl. I told myself, the numbers are sequential, don't be a child. CloudWatch was open in Chrome on the other monitor, last 2 hours of logs filtered to fireworks for production. We'd had a fluzzer at 11:15, nothing since. The room hummed with the refrigerator. Another DM from the same deactivated bot, rollback 1428. Alarm prod alminus 5x5%. 0:59. I looked at the corner of my screen. 12:55. I haven't rolled back anything on this system in months. We moved the permissions to an on-call role. I literally could not do what the message was predicting. The build turned green. Then another orange bar, deployed to prod. It wasn't mine. A scheduled deployment kicked based on the merge earlier that evening. I had forgotten the rule. I opened the AWS console. The application load balancer metrics tab stuttered. A minute later, the alarm flipped from OK to alarm, read exactly at 0:59. I felt that tiny shift inside the chest you get when an elevator stops one floor early. Feeling that something you trusted to be predictable isn't. I replied to the bot DM. Who is this? Slack told me I couldn't send messages to a deactivated user. The text box grayed out as if shaming me for trying. In VS Code, the yellow bulb offered a suggestion. Not Copilot, just the built-in TypeScript quick fix. It suggested renaming a parameter to match a comment. The comment wasn't mine. A grey snippet hovered, // if plan ID is missing, don't try to reconstruct fallback to default tier. I checked the extension list. Copilot was disabled. I removed it anyway and watched the uninstall bar complete like a ritual. I staged my change, ran tests, pushed. On GitHub, the PR created automatically with a template. Someone had already added hotfix as a label. I hadn't clicked it. I think you can reason away anything at 1 a.m. I told myself GitHub's labeler workflow was fast. I told myself my memory was bad. I told myself about coincidence. CloudWatch started showing lines with timestamps 2 minutes ahead of my system clock. Not ingestion time, event time. The JSON had a timestamp 1,731,296,280,000, while my Windows clock insisted we were at 58. I checked time, Windows, comments synced. No drift. The future log entries were specific. They referenced type error, cannot read properties of undefined reading amount sensed, and listed stack frames that included the exact line numbers post-change. I hadn't deployed my change yet. I stared long enough that someone's motion detector turned off the hallway light outside my glass wall. Someone else's building, watching me sit still. I ran all logs, filter log events from PowerShell with a start and end time to make sure I wasn't looking at cached UI. The CLI printed lines with my application name and correlation ID, and then the same lines arrived 2 minutes later inside the real-time tail. I told myself strong eventual consistency, out of order delivery. Then my phone lit with our PagerDuty integration. Slack exploded with a red banner and a thread started auto-populating with runbooks. I clicked the first link and the first comment in the thread was already there, rolling back to 1428. It was posted by the same deactivated bot. I pasted the on-call through Discord in case Slack was lying. The typing bubble started in our shared DM. Then it stopped. Then a minute later he messaged breathless that the rollback had triggered itself. He didn't do it. Our pipeline has safeties. No one builds and auto rollbacks without an engineer in the loop. Except I watched it happen, and my own name appeared in the rollback trace as requested by in the console. I looked up my IAM session in the AWS console and saw a session start time that hasn't happened yet. 1.7. It was 1.5. I closed every tab. I closed VS Code. I took my hands off the keyboard and felt ridiculous for performing the gesture like the computers needed to see me stop. Slack DM collapsed and the original conversation with the deactivated bot went blank. No messages. The screenshot I'd taken was still on my desktop, a white PNG with a file name I didn't pick to -59 PNG. When I opened it, it was a black rectangle. I checked its properties. Created at 12:52. Modified at 12:52. In GitHub, my PR merged itself. The merge commit was authored by me with my machine's signature. The time was 1.3. The diff was exactly what I intended, down to a typo I'd corrected before staging. I know I didn't type it twice. The failures quieted, then stopped. The office went back to the hum and the soft clack of my breath against my mask. I tried to write a postmortem draft. The browser tab blinked with a Slack push, good fix. The sender, the deactivated bot. The message hovered, then grayed out as if unsent. The cursor in my draft moved one character without me. An extra period. I quit Slack. I unplugged the laptop. I sat in the dark and watched my reflection change as the screen powered off. In the morning, I described it in the smallest, least embarrassing words I could to our team. The audit log had no entries for any DM. The CloudWatch logs that were featured were simply older now. The merge commit history agreed with the timeline the tools remembered. There's one place it doesn't agree. If I run a logs insights query for our API and filter for the correlation ID I copied that night, a single line appears at the top with today's date and tomorrow's time. Info help at thank you. It isn't in any other stream. I can't grep it in the code base. On a second refresh, it disappears. I keep the laptop's clock a minute slow, which should be nothing. At midnight, it still finds me. The empty Slack DM opens itself and the typing bubble starts. And it types like I do when I'm tired, then deletes it, as if it got there a little ahead of me and doesn't want to scare me any more than it already did.